there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shelby and today I'm going to be doing a series review for Summer Harbor by Denise Hunter. It is a total of 3 books and I just finished up the final book in the series, so I figured I would just make a review for it. The first book is called Falling Like Snowflakes. The second is The Goodbye Bride. And then the third is Just a Kiss. So this takes place in a little town called Summer Harbor, and it's kind of like a companion series to the Chapel Springs series, which I reviewed already because it has a little bit of overlap, but you could definitely read them independently. So it's about 3 brothers, the Callahan brothers, and each book follows each brother starting from oldest to youngest in this small town of Summer Harbor. So the first book is, like I said, Falling Like Snowflakes, and this one follows the oldest brother, Bo. He runs his family's Christmas tree farm. They have a little like shop, and in the winter they sell Christmas trees. And he also, I believe, does police work from what I remember. And he is dating one of his brother's best friends named Paige. And then all of a sudden a woman shows up in his like shed, sleeping there overnight. Her name is Eden and she has a son. And she didn't have anywhere to stay. She had no money. It turns out she had been running from something and her car broke down in Summer Harbor and she had to find a place to stay, and so she stayed in his shed, and she really needs a job to pay the car repairs. So she decides to stay in Summer Harbor for a little while, and she ends up getting a job for Bo because his aunt like broke her ankle or something and needed help, and so she needed a caretaker. So Eden and her son move into Bo's house and take care of the Aunt Trudy. And even though Bo has a girlfriend, he starts to develop feelings for Eden, and even though Eden is very closed off due to what happened to her in her past, she develops feelings for Bo, and it is their romance. And I really enjoyed this one, and I liked that it had a little bit of suspense element, so it's a little bit romantic suspense, and I really enjoyed this, and I think this one was probably my favorite of the series. I gave it 4 stars. And then the next one is about the middle brother named Zach, and it is about Zach and Lucy. So Lucy left Zach, they were engaged, and she left him only a few weeks before their wedding. And she leaves and he never heard from her. Well, now it's months later, and suddenly Lucy wakes up in a bathroom in a wedding dress, and she has no memory of what happened. The last memory she has is being engaged to Zach, and she assumes she's in the wedding dress for their wedding, so she calls Zach and he comes to pick her up, and then she thinks that they're still engaged, and he's like, nope, we're not, we broke up. And she's like, why did we break up? And he won't tell her. So she refuses to leave Summer Harbor until Zach loves her again, or until she has her memory back. So she stays in Summer Harbor and just keeps getting in Zach's way, even though Zach says, you know, we can't be together. But Zach loves her, it's just she broke his heart. And it's their romance, and basically them finding each other again, and eventually she does get her memory back. And this one was really good. I enjoyed this one a lot as well. I gave it 4 stars. And then the final book was probably my least favorite in the series. I just finished it yesterday or the day before, and this one is called Just a Kiss. And this one follows the youngest brother named Riley, and it does have Paige from the first book who was dating Bo, and they are no longer together. Well, Riley left for the Marines when he found out, you know, Paige and Bo were dating. It was just too much for him because he's been in love with Paige secretly since they were teenagers. So it's been a long time that he's been crushing on her, and he just can't handle seeing her with anyone else. So he leaves for the Marines, and he decides that when he gets back, he's going to tell Paige how he feels. But his plans get interrupted because he hits an IED and he loses one of his legs, and he's an amputee and has to come home early. And when he comes home, he decides he doesn't want to tell Paige how he feels, and he wants to steer clear of her. But his family decides he's going to live with Paige in her first floor bedroom because it would be more accessible for him, and he has to. He has nowhere else to go. And it just causes trouble for him because he loves her, but he doesn't want her to know, and they just are around each other all the time. And then he even takes up a job at her animal shelter because she needs extra help there. And so they're just seeing each other all the time, and Paige starts to see him in a romantic light, but she thinks that Riley doesn't like her, and Riley thinks that Paige doesn't like him. So most of the book is about them thinking the other person doesn't like them. And it was really good, but it wasn't my favorite in the series, and I gave this one 3 stars. And so overall, I give the series about 3.75 stars, a little below 4 stars. The first 2 books, definitely 4 stars, but the third book not quite there. It was definitely more of like a 3-star read. I really enjoy Denise Hunter's writing because she does a great job like making you engrossed and invested in a little town. So I really cared about the side characters, I cared about the town, I cared about the family, and I just felt like I knew these people, and I felt like each book played upon the other ones, and so you got to see things play out and characters develop through the books that weren't main characters, and I really enjoy that. And she just makes me feel so connected to these people and makes them feel really real. And even though they are Christian fiction, Christian romance, I don't feel like they are heavily religious. Sometimes there is some like God talk in there, but not a lot, where me as someone who's not religious, I don't feel overwhelmed by it. It's not an overwhelming religious presence, which is nice. If you do like sweet and feel-good romances, I recommend these. They're not books that make me cry. They're not sexual in any way. So they're just like wholesome, good romance books that make me feel good. So yeah, that is my series review for Summer Harbor. Let me know if you've read these books, or if you like Denise Hunter's books in general, or if you have any other like small town romance recommendations for me. And I will see you guys on my next one. Bye.